Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Friday, July 5th. Hopefully, you guys survived. No wicked hangovers and stuff like that. The other thing I forgot to tell you is stay hydrated, not beer, but water, because the humidity up here was terrible yesterday. We worked, and from moving, ret- repairing tires on lawnmowers, returning them home, and then in the afternoon, I tackled the hay, hauling that home from other farms that we do. And it was right around 89, 90. And then the humidity. I mean, my tractor has got a cab on it, but it does not have AC or heat. It probably used to in its day, but the only AC I got is when the doors, we take them off for the summer. And the only heat is coming off the ember of my cigarette in the wintertime with the doors back on. So today I wanted to talk about how much do you want to know about your customer? That should make you think, right? Stay tuned. All right, so welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the holiday. We're taking today off. Once I get this video knocked out, I think I'm going to go do some fishing. We elected to just get our stuff done yesterday because we had no plans and have the long weekend. Give Claude the choice. Does it mean I'm not going to work today? No, I'm working. I'm just thinking about getting a little fishing in first. All right, so at what depth do you want to know about your customer? Now, a lot of businesses only go as far as checkbook, cash, credit card. That's all they want to know. What's the matter with your unit? We're gonna disregard what you tell us anyways, and we're gonna fix it. And there's no story, no listening, no talking to the customer. Basically, here's your bill, pay your bill, see ya. And doing that as a very impersonal, I guess could work. See, she doesn't agree with it. That doing it that way may be working for you. I don't know. But I can't do business that way because I value relationships. And one of the things that I learned early on is like I was telling you with the John Deere dealership, their dad instilled into them. At the very least, you need to know their first name. When they walk through that door, you better know who it is. And why is that? Well, it says that you know them, that you're trying to, and you can't fake it. This is a key. I mean, you can memorize people's names and then be antisocial. And they never have been. They've always been, how's everything going on? How's the farming? And they know a lot about you because they've taken the time to learn it. And I've been with them now since I first got married. And that was back when I was 19 years old. Same dealership. And at 20 years old, I was doing deals with them buying new equipment because they had faith in me when other people were kind of skeptical. And remember, at that age, I had just bought my first farm. Yeah. So the way I've always done business is on a very personal level. Now, when I'm doing the stuff online, it's hard because a lot of times text messages, you know, my eBay messages, you can't tell the tone, you can't tell the posture, and you can't. And a lot of times, depending upon what mood the reader is in, it could be construed totally different. And we always would answer quick questions, stay on top of them. And if one didn't sound like it was going, or if it was going south, it was, here's our number, call us now. And we not only, with the online parts, we not only sold the parts, we knew how to install them. And one of the things that we did that nobody else was doing was, if you need help on how to install it, call it, and I'll put you on with a mechanic that can walk you through it. How many other parts dealers were willing to do that? Most of them didn't know even what the part was that they were selling, right? I did. I knew exactly what the part was, and I knew exactly how it went in and the steps to doing it. And that instilled faith. And we had a lot of return customers that just kept coming back, right? And as we started the repair business, there were a lot of gimmies. You know, one older gal had brought her push mower. She couldn't get it started. We checked compression, checked fire, replaced the spark plug. It fired right up. We folded it all back up, put it back in her car. She was fumbling through her purse trying to get out money. I knew she wasn't well to do. And I said, this one's on me. I'll get you on the next one. And she's like, no, you have to take money. I said, no, I've got a spark plug involved. If you want to cover the spark plug, it's $4. Other than that, for what little time right here in front of you. And at that time, we weren't looking to make big money off repairs anyways, because we were selling parts online. So this was just like a side hustle. And as it grew, and we grew our customer base, then we saw that, that it's realistic to look at this as we start to wind down on the parts. We step more into the repairs. So the relationships that we had built, and one of the key things that I always remembered was, I not only knew their first name, I knew their last name. I knew where they lived. I asked them about their family. I listened. See, sometimes we have to be like a social worker. And that is, if a customer is having a hard time with something or a bad day, spending that extra half hour to an hour just listening to them get it off their chest makes them feel like they're not alone with it, and they can deal with it much in a better way. I don't know if you understand that. Most of you guys and gals should have been through this before. I know I have. Is I try to keep it private, and the more I try to keep it in, I'm struggling with what do I do about it, And it's like I can't say anything to anybody, and it makes me miserable. But if somebody else knows other than me, then it doesn't seem as big of a problem. Because even if the other person doesn't give you an answer, they just listen, which I do. I don't try to tell anybody what to do. With this channel, it's advice, but a lot of times it's just simply listening. And for some, they're going to say, well, you could be better getting back into your vehicle and doing more pickups or drop-offs to make more money in the day. At the end of the day, you're probably going to make more money by having a good relationship with your customers than you are just a repair shop. If that's all you got going for you, why should they continue staying with you? Because you do good work? Well, there's a number of shops around that do good work. Me as a customer, I'm going to lean towards people that appreciate my work and have taken the time to know who I am, if that makes any sense. You know, one of the biggest things I've always pushed in the videos is make your customer your friend. And treat your customer like you would your friend. And I'm not saying, bullshit your way through it. If it's not you, it's not you, all right? Whether it be the gal at the desk or the guy at the desk, if they're on their phone scrolling through that while you're paying the bill and they're not even looking up, they just put the sheet in front of you, that's very impersonal. And actually, that cell phone shouldn't even be available during business hours, unless it's a business cell phone. Emergencies only. I used to tell my wife and the kids, somebody better be either be dead or dying to call me when I'm at work. And cell phones have made things very impersonal because everybody's got their face stuck in their phone. The thing I can tell you customer after customer after customer that are friend after friend after friend. One last year learned that they got diagnosed with cancer. Okay? And the family pretty much had written him off. And I was up there collecting a bill for, boats that we worked on. And it just come out, he looked like he was very upset and frustrated. But he said, I'm trying to deal with cancer. And at that point, I pulled out a chair. I said, have a seat. And I sat down. I said, what's going on? Now, I come at it as a cancer survivor as well. I had malignant invasive melanoma. And, the first thing I wanted to do was chemo and radiation. But I got lucky with my wife now. Her family from New York City and knowing people got me into the top dermatologist down there. And the dermatologist down there said, no, we don't need chemo and radiation. I think I can cut it out. But she's like, the biggest thing I have a problem with right now is we don't have any plastic surgeons available. And I'm like, just cut it out. I'll just say I was in a bar fight. I don't care. Just get it out. And I knew all the feelings and the frustrations and, all over the place once you hear the term diagnosis of cancer, right? And I remember sitting in the doctor's office, and once the doctor said, you have cancer, everything after was a blur. And it was a good thing that my wife was with me that could hear all the rest, and took it from there. So that's what I did with him. I sat down and I said, look, I'm a survivor, and you're going to be a survivor too, and this is how we're going to do it. And you need to have a positive attitude, and you're going to kick this in the butt. A year later, he kept in touch with me every couple weeks. A year later, he come to me and he said, I'm cancer free. Now, yes, I took extra time with him that day with the bill. I stood by him when his family had written him off his history. And we stayed in contact, whether it's text, email, or phone calls throughout the year, the off season. You don't need to do that with every customer. but be willing to go the depth when you know people are in need. Another customer, we just picked up her lawnmower yesterday, and she was telling me of how she's practically gone through most of her 401k dealing with her daughter, and she's 74. She's supposed to be retired enjoying life, but she's got a daughter that's had addiction problems since she was 18. And she was just scrambled, you know. And I've been there before. I know what scrambled is. So Claude was headed for the truck, and I said, all right, so how's your daughter doing? And we had a report, and an hour later, she felt so much better. I knew more about my customer and could give her advice on what she was handling and how to deal with it and how to get some of her 401k money back into her account. And told her, if you need anything, call. Leave a message on the shop phone and I'll call you back the minute I get in. It's a choice how far you want to go. I value the relationship, so I'm going to go a little farther. If you want a family, person-to-person customer base that you treat as family, and they respond by coming back year after year because they're loyal to you. Or you can be the shop that maybe there's tons of work in your area. You don't need that, and you got your cashier, your customer service on their cell phone scrolling while they're handing customers bills and not explaining anything other than how do you want to pay for it. So on that note, you guys have a great Friday, and we'll see you here bright and early Monday morning. We're going fishing. Have a great day.